Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Sean Brooks, Sean B. Rowe, Sean B. here. I'm here. Just leave it at that. Well, first off, if you love that intro, shout out to my boy shonmylesproductions. I made sure I link his website along with his IG down in the description below. He was with me as I was making the Moza Air 2 review. He put together that dope little video for me. So shout out to him. He killed it. Period. So if you are here to watch the Moza Air 2 review. So this review is gonna be a little bit different than probably some that you've seen. There won't be like too much like crazy B-roll because you've all seen how a gimbal works, right? And you've all seen, I'll be showing you like a little snippet, a couple of pieces of footage here and there using a gimbal, but other than that, it's not gonna be like too crazy, just B-roll of me using a gimbal. You know what steady footage look like? Feel like we shouldn't have to do all that. But I will give you guys my pros and my cons, and then we're also gonna talk about who a gimbal is actually for and if you actually need one in your present space. So let's get to it. Now, number one, starting off with the cons. The first thing I don't like about this gimbal, how about I actually show you the gimbal? Now you can see the gimbal. So here's the gimbal. Right now it is locked into place. Obviously I'm recording on my GH5, so I only have one camera to shoot with, so I won't be able to show you guys like how it's gonna look on the actual gimbal, but nonetheless, it does work. I've been using it, obviously, right? So let's gonna get to my first con. My first con, honestly, is the battery door. Now, I know most people who've touched on the Moza Air 2 review has all said this, but the battery door is like ridiculous. Like, come on, dog, why does it take so much to get off? Like, it should not take that long just to pretty much get this door off to change the batteries. I personally would prefer if they had like a running S type of battery, a lithium ion battery where it's rechargeable. You just plug the cable straight into the gimbal and that'd be cool. Honestly, if they'd had it where you can actually charge the batteries while it's in the gimbal, even if they was like batteries that were sold separately for the most part, I would have just had it, I would prefer for the gimbal to be able to charge the batteries while it's actually like in the gimbal. Now you can charge like another device, like whether it's your cell phone, heck, even your camera, you can charge that through the gimbal, but you cannot charge the actual battery. So that's one con. Second con, it's definitely gonna have to be the fact that I paid $5.99 for this gimbal and it did not come in a carrying case. Now, I didn't really pay that price. I got it, you know what I'm saying? I got it for like $60 off because I found like a coupon code, but nonetheless, for the price that they're asking for $5.99, I feel like they definitely could at least give you guys a carrying case. Because here's the thing, this thing does not, because honestly it's leading to my third con about this gimbal, which would be like the portability. So the case and the portability all kind of goes into one. Because for the simple fact, with this gimbal here, the only thing is it's one solid piece. Now, please ignore this articulating arm. This is for the Ninja 5 that I'm recording on. But it's all one piece. So the only thing that comes off are the legs. After that, that's it. There's nothing else that comes off with this gimbal. So if you need to like travel something like that, you can like keep it in your book bag. Like I normally keep it on the side, or you can just like really pack it pretty securely, like in a case, like your own suitcase, something like that, man. But other than that, it does not come with an actual case, and the portability is just trash. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've banged this thing a couple of times just trying to get down the stairs with it. It's just too cumbersome. Now, don't get me wrong, they actually do sell a book bag, but the book bag $200. You know what I'm saying? Not really. Nah, I just gave y'all $5.99. I'm not gonna give y'all another $2 on top of it just to carry this, you know what I'm saying? Just to carry this gimbal. Like what? Nah, B, we're not on that. We're not doing that. So those are so honestly, those are my top 3 cons really with this gimbal. The fourth one's gonna be, this is my last con, and I'm pretty sure that's it for that. But the last one is definitely gonna be cable placement. So here's what I'm talking about. So on this gimbal, hopefully you got, maybe I'll like zoom in and like, you know what I'm saying, crop it in. But on this gimbal here, here's a slot in which you can put the cable for the, to control your actual camera, right? I have a GH5, so I have a cable to control that. So let me show you guys the cable that it actually looks like. Here's the cable for the actual gimbal. Here's the problem with this cable. One, it's not USB-C. If it was USB-C, honestly, this problem probably could have been avoided because it'd have been like longer to fit in. So as you guys can see, it fits in, but it's like one of those old charging ports like you see in an old PlayStation 3 controllers. I can't remember the name of that particular one. I think it's like micro US or just micro USB. No, it's not even micro USB. It's old, okay? Put it like that. It's one of those old charging ports and I don't like it. So what happens is because this thing is so bulky, it blocks off ways so you actually put this cable in. So sometimes when you moving too much and you fidgeting a lot with the gimbal, or you just doing any basic movements, this thing will get loose just like it just did very easily, and you won't be able to control the recording stop function on the actual GH5. Is that a huge deal? No, not really. It's not, but to me it's still a con because you guys could have made that better. So that's that. For cons, let's get into the plethora of pros that I have for this gimbal. But before we get into that, check out this video I put together using this gimbal and tell me what you think. As you guys can see from the footage I just showed you, the gimbal is really smooth. Gets you some real nice stable footage, some parallax and some push ins and out. I mean, it does it checks all the boxes. Okay, I would definitely give it that, no problem. No, you know what I'm saying, no complaints at all. Moving on to the first pro, which is gonna be the pricing. I don't know why I feel like this gimbal keep getting in my face. So with this thing being priced at $599. Now, granted, when I bought this, the Ronin S did not have the Essentials package yet, and it was like around, and I think the Ronin S Essentials package is like around $450. But even so, with that being said, this was the cheapest gimbal at the time that I purchased it, right? It was only $599, but again, I got it for way cheaper than that. And it had the weight load that I needed. So with the GH5 paired with the Metabone Speed Booster in the Sigma 18 to 35, it's a pretty heavy setup. And this gimbal here is rated to carry at least 9.2 pounds. And I wanted a gimbal to make sure that I was gonna be able to hit that load. Now, granted, the Ronin S can carry the GH5 and can carry the GH5 with that combination with the 18 to 35. But the problem is like I'll be right at that weight. And I didn't want to do that, just knowing how mechanics work and gears work. You don't want to sit there and have your gimbal using the max power capacity every single time you use it, because the gears are going to wear down even faster. So I wanted a gimbal at least with like some type of slack, just a little bit, so I'm not using like the full power of the gimbal 100% of the time. And I can definitely tell you right now, if you have a GH5 with an 18 to 35 lens with the Metabone Speed Booster, you're not going to have any problems with this at all. Next pro is definitely going to be battery life. Now, it says 16 hours on here. I'm going to be real, y'all. I have never needed this thing for more than like 4 to 5 hours at a time on a shoot. Like, seriously. But anytime I've used this gimbal, like, I forget the charge and I still have like 3 to 4 bars left of battery life. There's never been a time where I was sitting there using this gimbal like, oh man, I'm about to run out of battery. What do I do next? This gimbal will clearly easily get you throughout the day with no problems at all. And then on top of that, if you need to recharge your battery, they recharge fairly quickly because they come with an intelligent charger, which is a USB-C cable. Again, they use USB-C cables everywhere. I don't know why they didn't use it up here. Nonetheless, I digress. So the battery charges up fairly quickly and you're pretty much good to go. So battery life is definitely a winner in this gimbal. Now let's move on to the actual mechanics of this gimbal. So what I mean by that is, like, for the simple fact, one, it has a really great mobile app. The mobile app on this for the Moza Air is amazing. You know what I mean? Like, you can control so much through the app. It works very well. I also like the fact that you can control everything you want to do with this gimbal through the actual controls itself. So inception mode, if you want to auto-tune your gimbal, the power, how much power is going to each motor, to the yaw, the roll, any axis you can think of, you have direct control over that power through this gimbal here, through the touch display here. Now I'm not to the touch display, but with the LCD screen here. Now I'm not gonna turn this gimbal on. One thing you want to do is, when you own a gimbal, if you happen to get this gimbal, hopefully you do, because I am a Moza affiliate. So if you do buy this gimbal, it definitely, you know what I'm saying, get a little kickback to the channel, helps your boy out. But nonetheless, if you do get a gimbal, never turn a gimbal on when it's not mounted to the camera, okay? I cannot stress that life. If you don't have a camera mounted on this gimbal, do not turn it on. So when I be turning this gimbal on, so you guys can see the LCD screen, just take my word for it. The LCD screen works very nice. The control functions and everything like that works phenomenal. I have no complaints about that at all. Now, this has to be, I'm pretty sure this is not my last pro, but this has to be my most favorite pro because it changes so much how I use this gimbal and how I set it up. This has to be the easiest gimbal that I've used to set up, because I also have an AK-4000 that I want to be comparing this to. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see that comparison. But this is the first gimbal besides the Weeble Lab 3 where you can actually lock the axis when you're actually trying to balance the gimbal. And I want to tell you why that's so important. So right now, I'm going to unlock it. Right now, most gimbals have it where you have to pretty much balance the gimbal like this, right? It's pretty much standing still like that. You got to balance it out. What's amazing, and I kid you not, it's a godsend. What's amazing about this gimbal is you only have to worry about two of the axes at a time. So when you lock this, boom, Now the only part that you really gotta worry about balancing right now is this part right here. Once you get this going and you have it where your camera is sticking straight up and it can move anyway and you're good, then you can unlock this. Now you can adjust this, okay? Now you can adjust this axis, and after that, then you can move down here. Even when you adjust this axis, if you wanted to, after you balance it, if you want to, you could lock it back if you wanted to, and then balance this gimbal here. Then you can balance this axis here with no problem at all. So that is a killer feature that I think every gimbal should have, because it is so difficult balancing the gimbal your first time. I can tell you right now, when you first get a gimbal, it's gonna take you probably like around an hour and a half, 2 hours to balance it out the gate. This is something you need to be prepared for when you get one. Now, just in case some of you guys are wondering, like, Sean, why haven't you commented about the weight? Every video that I've seen about the Moza Air 2 always says something about the weight. Now, believe it or not, the Moza Air 2 is actually like a pound and a half or a half a pound lighter than a Rona S. But I don't really consider weight of a gimbal a con. And the reason why I say this is because I know when I'm buying a gimbal what to expect. I know I'm adding more weight to my arms. I'm not expecting a gimbal that can carry 4.2 pounds, well, 9.2 pounds to be light as a feather. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. I know that with me adding extra weight to something, it's going to get just a tad bit heavier. Is it to the point where it's uncomfortable to hold? No, not at all. Honestly, it can get heavy, but again, my mind is already prepared for that weight. So when I grab it, I'm already knowing what to get myself into. Again, why do we talk? You see, that's my point. Like, why that's like you sitting there going to buy something. You already know how expensive it is, but it's like, man, it was really expensive. I bought this $1,000 phone, but the phone was $1,000. Bro, you knew going in how much it's gonna cost. You knew going in that when you buy the gimbal, it's gonna add extra weight to your gear. So yeah. Now, my last and absolute favorite pro, besides the fact that you can lock the arms, it's definitely gonna be just the stable footage overall. The footage that I get from my Moza Air 2 makes me look like like your boys out here, like legit professional. You know what I'm saying, my little parallaxes, my push-ins, and now it's like, I love this gimbal because it grants me so much more flexibility when I make my footage to kind of make it look way more cinematic. And that's what you want to buy a gimbal for the most part. Stable footage, and just for it to improve your overall quality of videos, a lot of shaky footage. So now that's leading to who this gimbal is actually for. I know most of the time when we see our favorite YouTubers, they be having all this type of equipment, the gimbals, the Ninja Vs. I got a Ninja V too, but it's worth it. The Ninja Vs and the mics and all that stuff, we instantly were like, yo, if I want my work to look anything close to my favorite creators, you automatically want to go buy that stuff. I'm here to tell you now, do not buy a gimbal if you're just a plain YouTuber. And what I mean by that is, if you're just someone who does tech reviews, or just does like a lot of stuff to sit in their house, or maybe like story time type of stuff, I would not recommend that you buy a gimbal. Most of my videos that you guys saw from like the YouTubers that don't like series, most of those videos I did not have a gimbal. I use my handheld, but I was using a 12-60 Leica lens, which has stabilization. So paired with the stabilization of GH5, I was already able to get real steady footage. Now, if you don't have that, if you don't have in-body stabilization in your camera, that may be a little bit different for you, so you may want a gimbal. But overall, if you're just someone who just needs like something for B-roll, smooth shots, just get yourself a tripod with a fluid head, and you can still get those nice, smooth, clean shots. A gimbal, again, is for people, I would say, who's in the professional field. I'm a professional video marketer, creative director. This is my job. This is what I do. brooksmedia.com. Go check it out. When I'm sitting here shooting like high-end clients and stuff like that, I need to make sure that the footage is stable. Even when I did commercials for the Alderman, I need to make sure that footage is stable. So I can't be sitting here walking around trying to follow somebody to get certain shots. You know what I mean? Like, it's too much trying to pick your shots versus if you just had a gimbal, you know each and every shot's gonna be stable. So if you're not a professional, you're just a YouTuber, do not buy a gimbal. But if you're someone who's thinking about branching off and making this like more of a full-time gig, then yes, do yourself a favor, buy the Moza Air 2. This is by far the best gimbal on the market, in my opinion, even compared to something like the Rona S, because of the weight and the fact that you can just replace the batteries with no problem. So if I missed anything, you guys have any other questions, please comment down below. If you like the video, please like the video and share it. Help your boy out. It definitely improves traffic to the channel, which I can just, get more stuff in for free. Help your boy out. And honestly, I just really want your guys' feedback. So if you like the video, go ahead and leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. So it's your boy Sean Brooks. Again, Sean B Nice is really stuck. It's your boy Sean B. Okay, Sean B Rose, Sean B here. Sean B out, man. Deuces.